Hey there, I'm Akanksha Swaroop. Now, Elon Musk has announced that Twitter will be charging $8 every month from those users who wish to have a blue tick against their handle. What will be the impact of such an announcement, of such a decision on the users, and what happens to the whole issue of misinformation, verification, and more importantly, is this a defining moment for the management of Twitter now? Let's try and get in a sense of perspective, and for that, I'm joined in by a cybersecurity expert, Mr. Jiten Jain. Many thanks to you, Jiten, for joining in on this discussion. Let me begin by quoting what Elon Musk has had to say. Now, on Twitter, he said that power to the people blew for $8 a month. That's what Musk had to say while announcing this new move. In your view, is this power for the people or just a great monetization move?
To an extent bit fair because I think for long we have our society has got a habit of becoming freeloaders. We want everything for free in life. We literally don't want to pay for anything. But if you do not pay for quality services, then you have to realize that there are no free lunches in life, and if you don't pay, you will be subject and victims of data colonization schemes by big tech. I mean, look, Facebook is free. We thought, let's use it without paying. And then you realize that they've been selling your data to third-party advertisers, to Cambridge Analytica, for election manipulation. They've been selling data to or random third parties. So if you don't want your data to be colonized, if you want to play, use social media as a level playing free field, then somewhere down the line you have to pay for the services and research. And I think to that context, any platform, social media platform, if they want to commercialize their services and charge something to users, in return of showing less ads, more services, more video space or ad space or tweet space or premium features, I think it's fair.
All
But I
right.
think the little space where Elon Musk seems to have gone wrong, we also have to agree that there can never be a cost of any gratification or honor of somebody's knowledge and intellect. So
Huh.
those who've been given blue ticks for somebody's contribution to society or somebody's profile, I think they should never be asked to pay. Only those who use Twitter to make money should pay. Those who don't use Twitter to make money should not pay. As simple as that. Bottom
Okay.
line.
Let me also quote what Elon Musk has to say in terms of pay parity. He's saying that price adjusted by country proportionate to purchasing power parity. What will this mean for the Indian user? Does this mean that the Indian user will not be paying 660 rupees, which is what $8 roughly translate to in Indian currency?
I think this $20 rumors in the market was Elon's ploy to test waters, that how much a society is willing to pay. And once people like Stephen King from US started calling him names, you see, we saw a brilliant exchange between a $200 billion guy negotiate a $20 price with a $500 million guy on Twitter, and he said, okay, fine, $8 is the price in a impulse moment. But he also says that there's going to be a purchase power parity. So in a way, if a US customer is asked to pay $8, it might be 200 rupees in India, which is approximately $3 or something else. So it may not be same across the world. It will be according to the purchasing power of a society in a particular geography. But the point is, he's going to charge, and he's going to charge for verification and all those services, which I think might be a little controversial, because if suppose a head of state, a president of a prime minister of a country like India refuses to pay $8 or $20, is he going to de-verify their account? I think it's going to backfire. So, as I said, only those who use Twitter to make money should pay, and those who don't use Twitter to make any money should not pay, or rather, Twitter should pay them.
The other aspect that comes to mind is what happens to misinformation, verification of users, especially when opinions and information will now be a matter of just purchasing power.
You see, I mean, of course, I agree that verification cannot be a personal feudal of some feudal lords. Everybody should have a right to get verified if they are noted personalities. At the same time, take an example of a news channel. Suppose there are 2,000 journalists in your channel, and there is a policy that news channels can get their journalists verified. And if they were to pay $8, you're looking at a figure of almost 2 crores to be paid for verification every year. I think a channel would rather use that money to give bonuses and salary hike to employees instead of paying for the just random blue ticks. So I think those noted journalists bring value to Twitter. They help curbing fake news. They bring authenticity of information on Twitter. I think so. Anybody which contributes for a healthy Twitter, which helps in larger public benefit, should not pay. People who are using Twitter for commercial services like corporates, especially the political parties who have turned Twitter into a political hate house and a hate machine by just garnering votes and spending millions of rupees on social media campaigns. I think they should be the first one to pay not $8 but maybe $800 for Twitter accounts. Corporates who are running day and night campaigns or Twitter ads and all those things, and who use Twitter for customer care, should also pay. But ordinary users, journalists, city activists, government servants, I don't think they can be asked to pay, and Twitter can demand them with $20 or even $8.
Now, when Elon Musk was asked why is he purchasing Twitter, in his defense, this is what he had to say, that he bought Twitter. He made it obvious that Twitter cannot become a free-for-all hellscape where anything can be said without consequence. Taking a cue from what you were also saying, will paying for the blue tick now help in combating hate speech and misinformation on Twitter?
Partially. I mean, suppose if a prime minister of a country does not have a verified account, obviously 50 people can make his fake profiles and post information about share markets, government policies. It can be used to spread rumors and misinformation and destabilize the society. So obviously, authenticated, verified accounts of notable personalities do help to ensure that there is a differentiation between genuine accounts, genuine and credible information and misinformation. To that extent, yes. But I think this $8 business is purely to generate a commercial revenue stream. It is less to do with curbing misinformation. It is more to do with the commercialization of Twitter, because he's right that I have got bills to pay. I have made $44 billion investment. I've got to recover somehow. You can't expect as a society to get everything for free in life without paying anything. I think this is absurd. So I think society also now learned to pay for services. We pay for Netflix, we pay for Amazon Prime, we pay for other services. We pay for many OTT apps for music. So now it's time to pay for Twitter. It's time to pay for abusing and trolling people.
Let's also talk about the timing of such an announcement. It's especially significant considering the IT ministry in India has just tweaked the IT rules of the country. Now, over the past 2 years, Indian authorities have also asked Twitter to act on content that's allegedly spreading misinformation or is anti India propaganda. Will a change in ownership in Twitter also ensure better or greater compliance with the country's rules?
In an ideal case, the ownership structure should not affect a company's compliance with the sovereign laws. But in Twitter's case, we saw that Twitter was getting into a confrontation with the government, challenging the sovereign laws of India, not willing to comply, and trying to act as a sovereign in itself, by calling their policies superior to Indian laws. But I think Elon Musk has been clear that not only in India, in many other countries, he wants to comply with local laws. His point is that elected governments have been elected by people, and they have a right to impose reasonable restrictions on the larger interests of society. So if a sovereign country in their sovereign wisdom makes a law, I think Twitter has to comply with it. He is very clear about that. So on that point, I think government will see less confrontation with Twitter. But I think on a larger side, you have to realize that government of India's amendment, which they bought in the IT rules last year, clearly demands all social media companies have to voluntarily verify accounts if a user demands. They cannot refuse to verify the account of a user if a user demands, if as long as he's willing to give his ID card and provide KYC information. I think that rule was not forced upon till now. But once Twitter starts accepting verification for everyone, I think it is going to put great deal of pressure on especially Facebook and Instagram to open verifications for ordinary people. Should they demand, should they agree to pay, or should they agree to give KYC information? So I think it's going to open a Pandora box.
Last but not the least, Jiten, now that Twitter is in his kitty, many are questioning the future of Twitter under the leadership of Elon Musk. Many are also comparing the future with, say, failed epic acquisitions and mergers, ones like Microsoft and Nokia, Google and Motorola, HP and Compaq, even eBay and Skype. Is Twitter also going to head that way? I know it's fairly early and nascent to ask that question, but what are your thoughts?
I think unlike this, all the companies like Skype, Dell and everything you mentioned, Twitter is now going to be a personality-centric company, Elon Musk-centric company. There will no more be CEOs, Twitter board, and this that. It'll be Elon Musk negotiating deals on Twitter, randomly giving out prices, announcing decisions. But I think on a fair point, Twitter has been long accused of putting political impartiality into dustbin, and there have been accusation of leftist biases. I do not want to go into the political arguments for it, but I think for the sake of merit, we must know that a private company with some 4 or 5 people sitting in a private boardroom were successfully able to deplatform a sitting US president by calling him incapable of operating a Twitter account. Now, I think it's an insult to all democracies, an insult to millions of people who elected a president who entrusted him with nuclear weapons. A private company and some viceroy sitting in a private boardroom thinks that that very person who has been elected by millions, trusted with nuclear weapons, is incapable of operating a Twitter account and deplatforming him, banning him. I think it's an assault. It was an assault on free speech, especially when it was done in absence of any judicial order or an executive order or a law enforcement request, just by the whims and fancies of two private individuals. I think it was a dangerous trend. So I think on that point, Elon Musk as an individual has been very clear. He's been a great defender of free speech. We have seen his contributions in Iran to keep the connectivity alive by Starlink. We have seen his incredible contribution as a human to keep Ukraine connected in a fierce onslaught against Russia. So I hope better times come. But at the same time, I think we as a country have to frame our policies and rules that companies, irrespective of their ownership structures, individuals, and command, comply with Indian laws to keep India as a space for open, safe, and secure internet.
All right, I think it's best left at that. Many thanks to you, Jiten, for sharing your precious insights and information with us here at CNN News 18.